Hey everybody! So today we are going to be talking about eyebrows. So we all have them and we all are always worried about getting them perfect, getting them just right. And our eyebrows really are important because they really are the frame for our face, the frame for our eyes. And if the eyes are the windows to our soul, we want to make sure that we've got our eyebrows on and looking fabulous. So before we get started, let me hurry and share this video over to our group. Let's see here. So as you guys hop on, say hi, don't be shy. Even if you have never met me in person or something like that, like I don't want you to feel like you can't say hi or comment or ask questions. Everybody who's in here with me is my friends, and so I love when you guys comment and stuff like that. So, all right, so let me see here. All right. All right, we're all shared out to our group. So we will be getting started here in just a second. So the product of the month this month is our brand new eyeshadow brush, which was kind of what inspired me to do this video today. So here is our brand new eyeshadow brush. We've got our little spoolie on one end and then like a nice like stiff angle brush on this side. So anyways, I love this brush. This brush is $22. But this video isn't just about this brush. It's about actually how to get like the proper shape and everything for your eyebrows. So I know we've got some friends hopping on. So guys, comment, say hi. I haven't seen any comments yet, so I want to make sure that I can see. I want you guys to be able to ask questions and things like that. So go ahead and comment when you hop on. Let me know you're here. Just say hi. And if you have something that's like a frustrating part about your eyebrows or something that you've always tried to figure out and haven't been able to, comment that below so that I can kind of speak to that during our little class today. So I don't want to wait too long. We're going to just kind of jump into this. If you guys are watching this on the replay, go ahead and comment #replay. That way I know that you're watching the replay and I can connect with you and answer questions and things like that. So yeah, so let me know if you're watching from the replay. So we're just going to jump right into this here. All right, so the first thing that you're going to want to do, I'm actually going to start with our little multitasker brush here. It's got like a nice thick and flat end here. And then our tiny end, this is the end we're going to be using today, and it is just this really, really tiny end. So to kind of compare it for you with our new angles brush, you can see like here's the side view. It's a lot, see if I can get it where you guys can see it. It's a lot thinner and it's not angled. It kind of is more of a rounded top. And then let's see, side view, you can see it's a lot thinner too. So it's going to give you a lot more of like a fine line. So the first thing I'm going to do, I like using our eyeshadow colors to do my eyebrows. A lot of people like using the contour colors. There's actually place and room for both. So to kind of show you kind of the different ways that you could do that, I'm going to show you guys that today. Don't mind my like dirty compact. We've been traveling and doing stuff a lot, and so it's not like looking fabulous right now. So what you want to do is the first thing you want to do, I'm going to dip into my contour just a tiny bit on this small end of my multitasker brush, mainly because I want to kind of mark the starting and ending point for your eyebrows. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to figure out where your eyebrows are supposed to start. So a good rule of thumb is if you take your brush and you line it up right there, so it's right straight up and down along the side of your nose, that point right there is right where you want your eyebrows to start. So if you line up your brush, or if you've got an eyebrow pencil or something, and your eyebrows are like coming clear into here, then you probably need to try to either pluck, or if you go somewhere and have them waxed or something, and kind of widen them just a little bit here. If you hold up your brush and they're clear into here, that's where you would want to kind of fill in that space there. And everyone has kind of personal preference on how they like their eyebrows to look, but that's kind of that general rule of thumb that will give you that like perfect dimension to your face and stuff like you're usually looking for. So for me, that point's right here. So I have just a little bit of contour in my multitasker brush here. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in right here. I got a new iPad for Christmas, and this is my first time that I've ever got mine from it. So I'm like kind of trying to feel my way around here. So we kind of mark that inner corner, and this is kind of how I like to start when I'm teaching people how to do their eyebrows for the first time. All right, so then you want to find like that ending point. So I'm going to get just a little bit more contour color on this brush, and I mean, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like totally out of focus, like the most teeniest, tiniest amount. So now to find where your eyebrow ends, what you want to do is kind of take your brush, hit it along that corner of your nose and that outside corner of your eye, and you want your eyebrow to hit right at your brush here. So if you're holding your brush like this at the side of your nose, outer corner of your eye, and your eyebrow ends like here, that's where you know you're going to want to kind of fill in there. If it extends past that, then you know that you're going to want to kind of maybe trim it back, pull those tweezers out, or something like that. Hey, Mom. Okay, so I'm just going to go through, and I always just put a little bit right there on the end, so that as you kind of mark that, you can just kind of like mark exactly where it's supposed to end. All right, so once you kind of know the starting and ending point for your eyebrows, then you can kind of start filling in. Wow, I just like all of a sudden got like really dark in here. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm messing with my lighting in here today. Okay, so the next thing that you're gonna wanna do is take a brush that's got a little spoolie end, which like I said, our new brush has got that, and it's fantastic. And you really want to get all of your hair in the right place. So the first thing you're going to want to do after you know exactly where you're going to start and end is you want to get your spoolie brush, and you just want to brush your eyebrows up and kind of out. Now, if you typically get your eyebrows like waxed or threaded or anything like that, they'll usually do this and they'll kind of clean this up for you. If you're a do your eyebrows at home kind of person, if you're using your spoolie and you're combing your eyebrows up and you see lots of hair kind of extending up and out past the top of your eyebrow, you can actually take and just kind of trim right along that edge. So you're not actually like using a razor or something, like actually with like a pair of scissors, and just kind of trim anything that's like extending above that line right there, because that's what's going to really make it look straggly, and we don't want them straggly, we want them really well defined and really sharp. So we're just going to kind of go through here with our spoolie, brush everything up, and I usually like to go through it a couple of times to make sure you don't have any little hairs getting lost in there. So once you've gotten that done, then I'm going to come back to my little multitasker brush here. And what you want to do is you want to actually, I know a couple of the comments yesterday when I asked what people are struggling with their eyebrows, was kind of feeling like they didn't look natural, and that you kind of just get that like powdery, like filled in look. That looks really artificial and stuff. So this next step is vital if you want to really make sure that you've got a really natural look. And you can see like I have years of over plucking to where I'm like really, really sparse here. I'm really, really sparse here. And like I said, there's a lot of different, what's the word? there's a lot of different shapes you can go with your eyebrow, but basically, typically, you kind of want a line to go from this inner part of your eyebrow base up to your arch point right here. Now, for some people, that's more of like a circular arch, but kind of like the ideal eyebrow shape is you want to kind of pull it straight from there. And you can see I'm super, super sparse. I have like no hairs right here. So what you actually want to do, I'm going to dip into my eyebrow color here, and I used our Trust color. And I'm going to actually draw with my multitasker some like little hair strokes. So I'm actually really not filling in my brows yet. I'm kind of like essentially like drawing little hairs on. And if you like eyebrow pencils, this is where you would kind of use your eyebrow pencil. Or if you really have a lot of empty space and you're really trying to fill in a lot of gaps here, you can always wet your brush just a little bit to get a little bit more of like a defined like dash, I guess you could call it. So right now I'm just kind of drawing in like little eyebrow hairs where I don't really have any. And I like kind of put a big little glob right there. Well, it'll all blend out, don't worry. Okay, and then like out here on the outside, like I have like kind of a gap, like a little dip right here in my eyebrow. And so I like to kind of do a few little hairs out here too for that. So that's what's gonna give you like a really, really natural look, is going and putting in those like kind of dash lines, for lack of a better word. There probably is a much better word and I just don't know it. And do that, and then I always like to take my little spoolie after, my spoolie, where is it? And kind of just go through and now kind of brush out those little fake hairs that I just drew in there. All right, so once you've got the little dash lines in there to kind of fill in the gaps, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take now our brand new like angled brush here, and I'm just gonna dip it really lightly so it's just on that front edge of the brush. Can you guys see? And hey Danielle. And you're gonna take, and I have it with like the low part of the angle up and then the high part down. And what we're gonna do is we're basically going to kind of outline where that brow will fall. Now what I always tell people is you never want to make your eyebrow somewhere that it's not. That being said, so for instance, I could maybe add on to the bottom, I could add on to the top, but I would never just like put a whole new eyebrow up here. You guys know, you've seen people do that, right? So you can add on to what you've already got, but you never want to like draw your eyebrow out here. You could add on to the front, you can add on to the back, but you never really want to make like a whole new eyebrow. And typically you're gonna build underneath and then just sharpen the top, is kind of like that like general rule of thumb. So I'm gonna take this right on this inner corner right here, and I'm gonna draw like that line up to that brow arch. And then I'm gonna kind of come in here and fill in this space right here. And then you're gonna do that on the top as well. And like I said, for most people, you kind of just want to sharpen the top. You usually don't want to extend the top too high, because it can kind of make you look angry. Think like Oscar the Grouch angry. So you usually don't want to extend it too high up above there, but just kind of use this to kind of fill in. Maybe you want to kind of extend that arch out a little bit. Like my arch isn't super defined, so sometimes I like to kind of lift that arch just a little bit. But as I lift out that arch, now you kind of have to fill in this gap here. So I'm going to, again, take that and just kind of drag. And I'm always using that low end of the arch first. Or, I'm sorry, of the angle brush first. And kind of dragging that down. So now we've got kind of an outline underneath, on top, and then going down the side. And once you've got that, then you can come in here and use your powder and kind of fill in. And you're just doing it super, super, super lightly. You really want to make sure you've picked a color that really matches with your eyebrows and is not just like a color you like or something like that. You really want it to match the color of your brows. And we're really just ever so lightly putting in this. And all it's kind of doing is adding that kind of thickness and depth to our eyebrows, right? Because we already drew in all the little dash hairs. And so now we're just kind of going through and adding a little bit of depth, a little bit of bulk to that. So once you've got your eyebrow, and you do the same thing on the outside if you want to like make that a little bit thicker or whatever it is that you want to do. And you want to kind of, when you're on this inner part, you kind of go with like an upward motion. And then just like the way we brushed it, and then kind of as you come out, that upward motion can kind of turn and go to more of a slanted motion, if that makes sense. So once you've done that, you're going to flip back over to your spoolie. And again, we're going to brush to blend, because that's when you'll kind of see spots where, oh, maybe I need to fill in just a little bit more here or a little bit more there or something like that. So I can see that I want to add a little bit in here. Now obviously this is something that normally won't take this long, but because I'm talking and showing you guys everything, it takes a little bit longer. But this new eyebrow brush seriously is so, oh, you guys, I just can't even. It's so awesome. All right, so once you've kind of got your eyebrow, you've drawn in your little dash line hairs, you've filled in the gaps here, you're going to kind of blend back out with your spoolie. And then to really help everything just look really, really nice and really, really sharp, I'm going to come back in with the other side of my multitasker brush, this kind of bigger flat end. And you can either come back in with like our setting powder, or you can come back in with your highlight color. So I'm going to actually take my highlight color here, just a really, really little bit right there on my brush. And if you just take that and then come back in, and you're just going to kind of outline, I guess you would say, where you just filled in that brow. And what that does is it really makes that line really nice and sharp. It makes it so that if you kind of got any powder up and out of that line of brow that you wanted to hit, it's going to kind of cover that, fill it in. But it adds that real nice sharpness to the brow that you can't get another way. And same thing under here, you can kind of come in here. Now this is like coming back through with this lighter color after is not something I typically will do every day. This is something more if I'm really kind of doing like a more dramatic look, it's date night or we're going out or something like that, to kind of give that much more defined look to your brow and to your face. And then if you've got really bushy brows or something like that, and you really, really want to make sure that they're not going to move and that they're going to stay really nice and sharp all night, what you can actually do is spray just a little bit of hairspray right here on your spoolie, and then go through and just kind of rebrush everything back into place, and it'll essentially set your brows with that spray so that they won't move all night. That's not something that I typically do a whole lot, So it just kind of depends on your personal preference. But you can see like a huge difference to how this brow kind of just draws your attention straight to my eye. And I don't even have any eye makeup on. I have no eyeshadow or anything, but how it just draws your attention straight to my eye. And even like the angle up here, because everything is so well defined, it's like it kind of draws your attention to the cheekbone, which draws your attention down. And so it's just kind of is a really fun way to kind of accentuate and make all of your makeup just kind of pop and look really pretty. Whereas like on this side of my face, everything just kind of melts together. So that's pretty much it. That's all I really have for you guys for your little eyebrow class today. If you guys have any questions, please comment them below. Also, again, if you're watching this on the replay, comment #replay so that I know you've watched the replay and you didn't see it live, so you weren't able to ask questions. And ask the questions still as you are watching this, even on the replay. If you see something and you've got questions while I'm in action, while I'm doing it, comment on it, ask the question, and I'll come back and be sure that I can connect with you and that I can answer that question for you. So I am going to now do my other eyebrow so that I'm not left with just one eyebrow for the day. But thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this helps. If you guys try out any of these techniques, if you feel like it makes any sort of difference for you, then post a picture. I would love to see a picture. Show me your gorgeous eyebrows. Show me your gorgeous looks. Post them right here on the wall of this group or on my page. And let me see how everything works for you. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you later.